Hey guys, I wanted to give a quick introduction to psycho-spiritual therapy. So on the one hand, you could interpret psycho-spiritual therapy as psychology on the one hand and then spirituality on the other hand. And we introduce these two worlds to each other. And it'll be kind of like 1 + 1 = 2. But a more accurate interpretation of psycho-spiritual therapy is the recognition that these two are not separate and that they have only ever been separated in our minds, in our awareness. So now psychology and spirituality have become two different things. And that's kind of why we keep running into problems and issues and not really getting to where we want to go with either of these paths. At least that is my personal experience. That is, if a lot of people will be honest with themselves, that's what I see happening. And a lot of people are kind of now waking up to this stuff. A lot of us are now, a lot of people from like the more traditional psychological viewpoint, they're coming to spirituality. A lot of spiritual people that have been in the spiritual circuit are like, oh, spiritual bypass, let's go to therapy. It's great. It's very natural. But we shouldn't just trade one world for the other world, or for a little while. It's okay. But in the end, we're coming to find that the issue was in separating the two. So psycho-spiritual therapy is not 1 + 1 = 2. It recognizes that these two have never been separated. It recognizes that they are one. 1 + 1 is 1. So psycho-spiritual therapy just acknowledges that we are both human and more than human. So psychology and spirituality, their objectives, in a way, they overlap. Both want to alter your perception to lessen your suffering. Or both want to work on your awareness, on your consciousness, to increase your well-being, your happiness, and the quality of your life, in a way, However, psychology has been born out of the old paradigm. Psychology is born out of the Newtonian paradigm, where matter is real and consciousness is maybe kind of like a byproduct. This is the Newtonian model, where linear time is what's real, where matter is what's real. The new paradigm, the Age of Aquarius, that we're moving into, quantum physics, recognizes actually everything is consciousness, appearing as form. But if you were to look really down into the form, there is no form. It's all consciousness. And so we're not actually human. We're having a human experience. Doesn't mean we're not human. It means we are also human. We are also spirit. So psycho-spiritual therapy is like, well, we're not just spirit, we're not just human. From certain perspectives, we are both. And so if we want to have true well-being, we need to start integrating both of these perspectives. And so what psycho-spiritual therapy, psycho-spiritual work, psycho-spiritual perspective, what it does, it simply shows us that, well, all of these problems that we're having and that we are treating with psychology, amongst others, we only have these problems because we identify with matter. We identify with being a human only, rather than understanding that this is just one perspective. And so how can you combat, how can you cure an issue that is created out of forgetting that you're more than human, without including the awareness that you are more than just human? So this is what spiritual therapy is all about. The most accurate way to look at this would be to see it as spiritual therapy. You know, not as a spiritual path somewhere out into it. It's like, no, it's spirituality for your everyday life. Or you could see it as therapeutic spirituality. Spiritual concepts, but then actually applied in a way that recognizes that we are having a human experience. And it has been pretty traumatic. Let's not cancel that out. And let's not try and skip to some endpoint. And so psychospirituality is, it's a bridger of worlds. It recognizes, you know, like it brings back together light and dark. It brings back together humanity and divinity. It brings back together masculine and feminine. So it integrates everything. And when everything is integrated, you have wholeness. And wholeness is the only thing that's going to make us feel better. Not a solutions to our brokenness. It's never going to do the trick. So yeah, I see psycho-spiritual therapy as the future of both psychology, spirituality, humanity.